kill you.
Joe, this guy has nailed it. I've been following the story of the Greta Thunberg mural that the city of Bismarck turned down or denied. It's now made its way east on Interstate 94 to Fargo, and I would not be surprised if the good people of that city would also nix it. Not to be denied, again, the Greta folks will make their way east to Fergus Falls, Alexandria, St. Cloud, all with the same result. No Greta mural in our fair cities. Finally, they find a place in St. Paul for their mural and the message of the child savior for our planet. Greta Thunberg, Mayor Carter and his cabinet of 20 will be more than happy to find a place for this mural and will be willing to use taxpayer dollars to get it done. Oh. There's plenty of tall buildings on which to display it. Yep. He's nailed it. That baby's going to head to the country's tallest buildings.
Absolutely, it will.
Where it would not be met with any objections.
It's already approved for Fargo, sorry. It's going on the Front Street Tap Room on Main in Fargo.
You been to that one?
No, I haven't been to that one.
Mark, a Fargo copper, writes, I have been a faithful listener in Fargo when you were syndicated here in 2000. I learned of you when I was training with the St. Paul PD. I have not missed an episode in more than 20 years because of syndication, darfm.com allowed me to download the Real Radio Show, and my favorite, the podcast. I may not always be up to the day, but I have listened to 20 years without missing an episode. Thank you.
Wow.
Here. And this is... I purposely didn't mention this, Steve Mulholland. Forgive me if you and the boys covered this. With her performance at Sunday's NBA All-Star Game in Chicago, Shaka Khan has secured her rightful position atop the worst national anthem renditions of all time.
Ooh, worse than Fergie.
I heard it, and it was frighteningly bad.
I just heard the last 10 seconds, which
dreadful.
was god-awful.
Was it worse than Fergie?
I was just going to ask.
Yes. It's worse than Roseanne.
I was asking your opinion. I've heard all three. But wasn't it heartbreaking that somebody... I just love Shaka Khan.
Yeah, I do too,
really, really love her. And that was just the worst thing I've ever heard.
Mm-hmm. And will not play it. He was wondering if we'll play it. No,
I was looking for it. Okay.
I will not play it.
I will discontinue looking.
I will not play it. It was just horrific. Jordy notes that a brawl broke out at a Bernie Sanders rally in Colorado because a black guy was wearing a Black Guns Matter shirt, and he was taken to task by a Bernie supporter. And Jordy knows silly kids, they don't understand that they can't impose socialism without first taking all the guns. Stalin, we don't let them have ideas. Why in the hell would we let them have guns? Ooh, that's a troubling thought. From Milwaukee Journal Sentinel. Florida man tried to escape the cops by stripping naked. Ribeyes fell out of his pants. The manager reported that the fellow was a regular shoplifter. When other shoppers said they saw him stuffing meat in his pants, the manager stopped him. And Jordy notes, I have never seen this at Grunhofer's, but don't give Kenny any ideas.
That's cute, Georgie.
Uh-huh.
I love that one.
And Greg Anderson in Amherst, Mass. writes, I listen every morning on my way to work. I plan on stopping at Grunhofer's and perhaps grab dinner at Jack's on my annual trip to Lake Hubert, Minnesota next summer. Cretan class of 72. You know him? Greg Anderson?
Greg Anderson.
Greg with two G's.
2 G's, yep.
Mm-hmm. And he's been a teacher for many years. And he was commenting on the suit in Connecticut by the girls who wish to ban trans athletes from their track meets.
Got it.
And he said, you may have the right to believe you are Napoleon, but you don't have the right to make me pretend that I believe it.
Right. That was from Andy as well?
That's a zinger.
Yeah.
We call him Andy, 72.
You've never heard of him.
Nope. We call him Andy.
Mm-hmm. And John had this in his news, but I watched Jay Cole's report on this last night. It was absolutely horrific. The fellow who got carjacked on Saturday afternoon on the north end of St. Paul with 2 kids in the car, and he said he doesn't know. It could have been 2 to as many as 6 kids. Dragged him out of the car and beat him up. Took his keys and his wallet, and off they went with the 8-year-old boy and his 1-year-old sister still inside the car.
John did that story.
I said, as John alluded to in his newscast.
Okay,
this was in broad daylight. He said He said 7 juveniles have now been arrested in connection with the assault. 7. And I doubt that much consequence will come to them. They'll be back on the street.
Will.
They'll
Like
be
Kenny
back on the
said.
street.
I guarantee you they already are.
And they took that van and stopped somewhere and abandoned it and got in another car and took off. And this guy's terribly grateful. It's just amazing. The coppers said the suspects arrested are between the ages of 15 and 16. And this is what the mayor of St. Paul cannot solve.
Give me a time on this again, please.
Saturday afternoon in broad daylight.
Okay. Wow.
So what's the purpose? Let's just try to find our way into the mind of these juveniles. They're just abandoning. Is this a joyride for them?
It's the decline of moral and ethical integrity, and in this case, by kids who have never been taught it.
Is it prove your medal?
That's what I'm wondering. What's the point?
Oh, like a light initiation.
Well, you're
or-
not profiting in gain by stealing this vehicle and selling it.
There's no more real big organized gangs anymore. It's more like groups of, like say the 5 of us.
Or the Schmitty gang or something.
Right.
Okay.
And that's what it is. It's just small groups of kids out doing random crimes. So there's I wouldn't think it would be any kind of initiation thing. It's just,
We're wreaking some havoc.
you think you're a big shot? Prove it.
When I always hear these, I fantasize that they would take on an SUV full of reavers. About 6 guys reavers size.
That'd be fun.
That'd be the end of their exploits for that day.
That's
Right.
why we all love the Dirty Harry movies, Joe.
Yeah, that's
just
right.
for that reason.
That's right.
problem-
You're absolutely right.
Yeah, but the problem is a lot of these 15-year-olds now are armed.
Well, that's true, and now you risk that. You step forward and risk being putting them in their place, and you could end up shot.
Well, because a guy like me is going to have 2 reactions: one if I'm by myself, and one if I have my kids in the car with me. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, you have to think about things like that.
Not only do they not respect our lives, they don't even respect their own lives.
Correct.
They just don't care.
You know what I did at Schmelz Countryside?
But as a
Volkswagen?
light rail ambassador, you're ready to go, right?
Yes, at all times.
You know what I did at Schmelz Countryside, Volkswagen, Alfa Romeo, and Fiat?
What'd you do?
Extended the lease for another month at least on the Alfa Romeo because I'm not ready to give it up yet because I don't know what I'm going to do.
Nice.
So I called the leasing company, and they took care of that.
You ran the numbers?
And we did run the numbers. And I'm talking about an Alfa Romeo I secured from Schmelz Countryside of Maplewood on the southeast quadrant of Highway 36 and 61. I love cars with panache. I love cars with a history. I love Volkswagens, Alfa Romeos. I love Fiats and their history. Right now, the Alfa Romeo 2019 clearance deals are around because the 2020s are around the corner. A great clear out of 2019 Fiats with discounts up to $5,000 off on the 124 Spiders. The 2020 Volkswagen Tiguans are on the ground and ready for delivery. For those of you getting your kids a vehicle and you don't want them stuck in the sand, try the Fiat 500X or the Golf 4Motion Drive. These are cars that will get you through the worst winter has to offer. This is a family dealership in its 3rd generation. They don't own 15 stores. They take care of you right there in the corner of Highway 36 and 61. Schmelz Countryside, Alfa Romeo, Fiat, Volkswagen, and you find all the inventory at Schmelz VW.com, SchmelzAlfaRomeo.com, and SchmelzFiat.com. That's SHMELZ, Schmelz Countryside in Maplewood.
Truth, justice, and the Soucheray.
Rob McClanahan will be joining us Thursday to celebrate and reminisce about the events in Lake Placid 40 years ago. Robbie scored what proved to be the winning goal in the gold medal game over Finland. And we'll have a lot to reminisce about. The fellas will all be in Vegas over the weekend in a Herb Brooks Memorial.
I was going to ask about that earlier. Why Vegas? Why?
I'm not sure why it's held there. But they're no dummies. They've gotten older and wiser. They
Sure.
want to be somewhere where it's warm.
I just thought maybe that there was significance with that team and that city for some reason. Okay.
But if you locally want to celebrate that anniversary, St. Paul's got a big thing going on Saturday from 8 to 5. Visit stpaul.com because they're going to be honoring Herb Brooks locally here with a parade, all sorts of festivities at CHS Field.
Cool.
But visit stpaul.com if you want to participate in the parade as well.
Here's John Haidt.
Thanks, Joe. An investigation underway after a male suspect tried to kidnap a person near the University of Minnesota's campus by trying to push the victim into the back seat of a car. It happened about 10:30 in the morning this morning, Tuesday morning, near the intersection of 6th Street Southeast and 10th Avenue Southeast.
We don't even wait till darkness anymore for this
10:30.
crime.
Jesus, that's right over here.
Right.
Campus Safety Alert said the suspect had, quote, gray facial hair, a gray hoodie, and blue pants with a stripe. The suspect left the area heading in the northbound direction. The person who was attempted to be kidnapped was not and is okay.
Did you see the Twitter video of the gal in the elevator and this creep?
Yeah,
That's the first thing I thought.
Tried to
John.
assault her, and she beats the living crap out of the guy.
she did.
It's fantastic.
That's awesome.
Just fantastic.
Well, it just goes to show you that there are some people out there that have no fear.
We have a decline of moral and ethical integrity. And that, Jeff Bezos, is a greater threat to humanity than your imagined climate BS.
That would be the greatest threat, I think, Joe.
I think so.
I think you're right on the money there. A debris fire at a recycling plant in Becker reportedly giving off a funny smell Tuesday morning. According to the Becker Police Department, a passerby reported seeing a fire at the Northern Metals recycling plant 2:30 in the morning. Police said the fire appeared to have started in a debris pile of crushed-up cars in the plant's lot. Authorities said damage appeared to have been confined to the debris pile. Nobody was hurt. Police say they received several questions about the air quality due to the heavy smoke. Officials are currently working to identify the air quality and anything else that would be problematic with the smoke. For precautionary reasons,
Lord, we better have a study.
For precautionary reasons, those with respiratory issues are urged to stay inside or get in a well-ventilated area.
We just all need to be babysat all the time, don't we?
The Becker
You got a whole bunch of cars on fire. It's going to smell bad. It's probably going to make you cough. Maybe you should move upwind.
Right.
That'll be $1,000, please.
You're a consultant.
Yeah, you are. You're a professional consultant.
Unbelievable.
The Becker Police Department reported fire crews remained at the scene Tuesday morning to investigate and put out hot spots. Federal judge on Tuesday refused to delay sentencing for Trump confidant Roger Stone on his conviction for witness tampering. That decision by Judge Amy Berman Jackson came after President Trump tweeted in defense of Stone and said it should be thrown out. Meanwhile, a National Association of Federal Judges reportedly called an emergency meeting for Tuesday to tackle mounting concerns about the president and justice officials' intervention in cases involving Trump associates. That letter that yesterday we talked about with Justice Department employees, former Justice Department employees, it was at 1,100 when we talked about it yesterday. Now 2,000 have signed an online petition urging William Barr to resign. An Uber driver accused
What do you do if you're Barr? Do you acknowledge that? I mean, it's quite the list, Such. And it's from both sides of the aisle.
Yeah, I
And
think
from
he
your
has to.
peers.
Yeah.
An Uber driver accused of firing shots at passengers who told him he was driving the wrong direction has been arrested in Louisiana. 53-year-old Ahmad picked up the passengers after midnight Sunday from a bar in New Orleans. According to news outlets, they requested that he take them to a location in Kenner, about 15 miles west of downtown New Orleans. When Ahmad began driving the passengers across the Mississippi River, the passengers told him he was going in the wrong direction. An argument began and Ahmad stopped the car. One of the victims called police while another ordered a different Uber. After the second ride-hailing driver arrived, Ahmad allegedly took the key out of that car's ignition, got a gun from his own vehicle, and fired shots at the folks. Police said everybody was able to run away from the gunfire. Ahmad drove away but was arrested after he returned to the scene. He was booked in jail in New Orleans Parish on aggravated assault, theft, and illegal use of weapons charges. Why
did he return to the scene?
Good question. Maybe he wanted to come back and finish the situation. I have no idea.
'Cause I would have been unlikely to pay him had he returned to the scene.
Yeah, I don't think I would have given him any money either. Yes, Mr. Reavers.
I have an idea. You know, we've been talking about the GL road trip
I just hit
for
the
these
wrap-up
last couple of
music here.
months. Recall this?
Yes, of course I do.
I have a better idea.
All right.
We all start here,
Yeah.
but we all go in different directions.
Yeah.
Same mileage, same time, and then we see who gets where first.
I'll be there first.
Because I've been eyeballing this road trip through Montreal to Maine. It looks freaking awesome.
Well, we're not taking a road trip to Montreal.
No, I'll do that one. You
I'm
guys
not
go
going
to where you
I'm
go
not-
to
We can
Utah
go wherever we want.
Marco
I
Island.
as long as it's the same mileage traveled.
No, that sounds dumb.
What? I think that sounds amazing. That way we all have different photos, different video.
And we don't have to spend time with each other.
That's the better point.
Maybe go to Kentucky.
But
check
you
over
know,
the-